experience on that happiness is achieved by experience. So the Brave New World Society's perception of happiness is stability, and people are stable due to the fact that they are on soma, which we tried to portray in this musical piece with the repetition and the repetitive parts that are along the lines of, so it's along the same lines and it's kind of dreamlike in a way with flowing, and that's what we think soma is, because soma is often referred to as a holiday. And that's the two quotes that we have to support this theory is that, and if anything should go wrong, there's soma. So soma is the dreamlike holiday that people will resort to for their stability and their happiness. Also, but that's the price we have to pay for stability. So they don't actually get to experience things in life, so they have soma instead to keep them stable. So they're choosing stability over the experiences that, say, John may have. So on the back, the change in behavior and thought process that we noticed when people are taking soma is that it is like dreamlike in a holiday again, and there are no worries. So you are basically floating through life. You don't have to worry about anything, and reality is no longer present in your life. So
Now we have the savage perception of happiness. And for their happiness, they rely on their religious ceremonies, as seen in the book, their hunting and providing for themselves, and also their relationships like mother to son, mother to husband, and everything like that. And so, John is a very good example of experience equals happiness, because the only time he takes Soma is at the end of the book, and so in 217, at the time he does not have Soma, and so he doesn't allow the drug to cloud his head, and he realizes that it's bad. So we'll go on 217. He says, "Listen, I beg of you," cried the savage earnestly. "Lend me your ears." He had never spoken in public before, and found it very difficult to express what he wanted to say. "Don't take that horrible stuff. It's poison. It's poison." "I say, Mr. Savage," said the deputy sub-bursar, smiling propinquely, "would you mind letting me? Poison to the soul as well as the body." "Yes, but let me get on with my distribution, won't you? There's a good fellow." With the cautious tenderness of one who strokes a notoriously vicious animal, he patted the savage arm. "Just let me." "Never," cried the savage. "But look here, old man, throw it all away, that horrible poison." So he expresses his beliefs that Soma is not the true way to happiness, and that experience is.
So Huxley basically portrays the change in tone while on Soma and off Soma through his use of tone while the characters are speaking, like Jill was saying, with John yelling, "I don't want to take this, you shouldn't take this, it's poison, it's poison." So Huxley shows us that through tone. So we compared this between the Savages and Brave New World Society. Soma replaces happiness in the Brave New World Society, and people are satisfied with the work that they are conditioned to do because they haven't had any other experiences with life, so is there any other way they could be happy? They wouldn't know. Their emotions are not acknowledged, so their creators or the conditioners do not acknowledge anything that they may want to experience something later in life.
As for the Savages, hard work obtains happiness. Emotional attachment also does. Religious and faithful reasons supply security and happiness for them, and personal experience brings joy.
So back to experience, some of the quotes that we found are at the end of the book when the people are gathering around John and they say, "We want the whip, we want the whip." They want to experience this because they think John, this is an experience to him. This is something that he's doing to obtain his happiness in a way. And they just want to join in basically because this is something they haven't seen before, they haven't experienced before. And also, "But he's the one I want." This is what Lenina says to Fanny when they're talking. "I want John, I want this thing." So when John comes into Lenina's life, it shows her that there is a new experience out there. She doesn't have to stay to her entire life, which we see in the crescendo and the music that we connected it to, is Lenina actually feeling something because the rest of the piece is portraying Soma. But when it picks up and it crescendos, that means that they're actually feeling something and experiences something in the life. So let me guess, the majority of you have probably eaten your candy, right? Yeah. So are you still feeling the same pleasures that you did when you ate it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jason is. Well, once the candy's gone, I mean, I'm not feeling the same happiness or pleasure that I had when it was in my mouth, or when I was swallowing it, or when I had it in my hand.
So therefore, the experience brings you happiness, not just the chocolate by itself, but the joy, the experience it goes along with.
Thank you for listening to our IOP.